Hello everyone, this is Mark Hamilton here, just going to be doing my Crystal of Destiny design process for the vertical slice that you would have watched, and I'm just going to go through the process that I did in my head before actually creating that level. So the first thing I did was do this initial sketch. So as you can see on here, I've got the basics where you start the game, then you go through jumping over the platforms, and then there's some those little arrows there. They're representing the baby Blatario that you're picking up. And as you can see, you're going through and around to the right, then continue on. Then there's some directional arrows that will help assist in. We want to have that platform lower than the upper one, so we're putting a jump boost there. So there's a little cross there for the jump boost that'll help you get up to the platform. Then we go along following the cockroach collectibles along. It'll take you down, and as you see, you will see there will be another platform down, and further down you'll go where they will lead you to a key, which is vital for the end of the level. You then follow it back up. We're going to have this is of course my initial sketch, have a rising platform, a moving platform, and then some further traversal around to where we basically back the way we originally came. Another rising platform, and then some bigger landmass traversal jumping between them until finally we reach the end of the level, which is where the crystals are there, and it's like a crystal castle. So of course, when I first did this, it was very spread out, and I sort of once using this in getting actually into the program, I realized that it was not easy to do it so spread out. So we needed to compact it somewhat, just to help with the flow of the level and the length. So what we've done then is I've compacted it. So you'll see this top-down sketch is pretty much representative of the final product of the vertical slice, where again started off essentially in the same position, going through the traversal, and then again getting the key, and then back across. Instead, we have in this iteration we have a horizontally moving platform, and then a vertically moving platform until we finally get some cockroaches to pick up and lead us into the final spot of the crystal castle. So of course, once I had these down, I started to build the level, which was obviously quite challenging in some respects. Some of the challenges I faced were again the pacing, the making sure that you could actually get through it. I had to replay it several times. There was several spots where I would find that my character was getting stuck, so I needed to rearrange some of the scenery, which was was a bit tricky sometimes to do that. But of course, I was making sure we kept some of the gameplay principles in mind for this. So some of these ones that I've used for the game design principles, we've got the environmental storytelling. So again, we've got with the Crystal Castle. So you can see that sort of straight away. That's your end goal, and it's made out of the Destiny crystal that was stolen. The player expectation was quite keeping the gameplay quite simple, but obvious what you need to do once you know the controls and looking at where you need to go. It was quite easy to do that. So I found I kept the pacing of it quite quickly. I didn't want to take a long time to get to the level, and obviously didn't want people getting bored. So again, with that pacing, if you were to slow down, you could see that there are other ways to go, which is why I had in here the exploration side of things, where there was a particular shortcut if you did a bit of exploring. But again, it was entirely up to the player to do that. So it was a balancing issue there with the cockroaches. How many do you collect? What do I need to use them for? I wanted to make sure that I use them in some creative ways, such as spelling out the word key to indicate that there was a key that is required, and that followed them to that key. Again, the player would expect, have that anticipation where they run over a cockroach, they're going to collect it, and they're going in the right direction. So they've got that. Now, I did some research, and another principle that I've used is the Krug's first law of usability, being simplicity. So that's a game principle where you don't want to overcomplicate things. You want to keep things simple, so that the player doesn't get confused, that it's quite easy for the player to do what they need to do to finish the level. And that, of course, took a bit of playing, especially with I had my wife and my children play through it several times and made sure that towards the end it was a very easy thing for them to get from start to finish. Uh, Also, as a result of getting the key, getting the collectibles, it gave them a good sense of accomplishment, which is yet another design principle that I wanted to have, is that I want them to feel, okay, I've done this vertical slice, and again, it's given me a sense of that accomplishment, that I've gotten from the start to the finish. I've had to do some jumping. I've had to do a bit of lateral thinking to work out where I needed to go next, with a little bit of an assistance from some guiding arrows. Um, and yeah, and obviously make sure that it was there was nothing where the player could get stuck and have it broken. So to make sure that if they fell off the edge, they'd either respawn at a checkpoint or they would have a way of getting back up to where they needed to go to. So some other ideas I had for the inspiration for this, as stated in the vertical slice, it was originally designed to be a 2D platformer, looked at from a two-dimensional perspective, but from using the Unreal Engine, and also got some extra inspiration from games like Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is obviously a third-person 3D platforming game. The color schemes, She-Ra, as you can see here, the pinks and the purples and the yellows. Metroid, again, coming back to the Metroidvania side of things. And of course, Superman with the crystals, and obviously his Fortress of Solitude being made out of crystals. Here we can see this is the texture and object blueprint that I was able to replace the collectible coin with an object from the Fab store, which is essentially the baby cockroaches, and I managed to get them replaced. And as you can see, there's the actual blueprint. The design next to it is the textures, and of course we've used that throughout the level as well to make it consistent. And that's how I got to finish that level. And thank you for playing it.